Hey, what is up, guys? So, I am dumb as shit, and I recorded 3 games, and I had my webcam display video here, literally on top of the game, so you couldn't see anything happening. So, I'm about to do the whole thing again. So, here we have a PPL game. Before this game, I was 4-2, and so I really want to get a win here. I don't want to go 4-3, and plus this is the last week before playoffs, so we have to win this week to make the playoffs actually. So I'll jump right into it. So here we start off with Azelf versus Drachi. I'm just gonna U-turn. I don't want to boom right away in case he protects, or maybe like, you know, whatever. So plus I want to save the boom for later. Like, Azelf is a very nice pivot for a lot of things, and as well with sleep talk, you know, can switch into Breloom. So it's still really nice to save that boom for later and just, you know, U-turn. Plus I want to U-turn away from this and send in my Heat Rain here and get up these Stealth Rocks. So I could have went maybe Gengar, but you know, I don't want him to get up rocks and Psychic versus me or something as I try to Will-O-Wisp. You know, there are different things he could do to combat that. I feel like the best play I want to make right now is get up my rocks to pressure him. And so here I get full paralyzed, which is upsetting. Especially, and now I know he has Milotic, which is really annoying. Milo is a pretty big threat defensively, and I actually have like a couple water type special sweepers on this, or water type sweepers on this team, so it's very important that I get rid of Milotic here. So he's gonna be afraid of boom, so that's why I go to Azelf, and I end up U-turning again. So I don't think he's gonna take that boom right there. So I go to Gengar because that's like that's like probably the best way I can threaten this right now without having to take damage on Heat Rain. So plus it's just risky because it's already paralyzed. So here I'm just gonna Focus Blast and end up connecting. I mean, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to Will-O-Wisp it, and that's gonna help me a lot more to deal with this Milotic. If it's getting leftovers every turn and I'm not doing any sand damage or anything, like, I don't have Tyranitar on this team, so I can't keep the chip on it without burning it. So I'm not sure why he opted to take the burn with this. He didn't even try to play around it with Clefable, but that's okay. As soon as he revealed that Milotic, I had a feeling it was that August team that you know, has like Gliscor, Flygon, and Clefable. It's just like a fat balance that you kind of paralyze shit with Drachi, trap the steel, stall out stuff with Haze, with Milotic, and clean up with Flygon. So you know, it's not a bad team. It can be annoying versus the right matchup, and I kind of feel like he went for the matchup fish in this game. So, but here it's just gonna be me trying to DD up and whittling down this Milotic. I end up getting it down pretty low here with a flinch, and then he hangs on there with 1% there on the edge, but that's okay. So here I'm going to DD up. He hazes there, and then I go to Metagross on the Ice Beam. So I want to threaten this with either Trick or a Boom, but I feel like he's going to switch, so I end up just tricking there. Here I feel like I have to Earthquake because I know he's gonna send in like Gliscor probably, or like maybe Milotic or whatever. So I just EQ because I don't want to deal with the Gliscor. With Metagross, I still have really good switch-ins in Gengar, Azelf, Gyarados can still threaten it, and my last Shuka and Polion can actually still threaten it. So I feel like Metagross will be better served dealing with Flygon, you know, taking out Rage. Heat Rain's not going to do a good job versus it because it, you know, it doesn't really have anything to threaten it besides Boom, and it's paralyzed. So, and it's not very defensive. like this Metagross is like near max HP, so it's going to be a lot better to deal with threats rather than try to boom on this Gliscor. I can still play this game safe, you know. I don't have to make any crazy boom plays right now. I can just take my spots, continue to whittle down things with burn, and take it from there. So here I'm just gonna go Gengar, and I think I hard focus blast here. Yeah, so I get that play right because I know he's not going to take another burn now. He's already taken the burn with Milotic. And here I taunt because 1, prevents Stealth Rocks. 2, I feel like he's just going to knock off or something. He's not going to risk I don't want to miss, and then he can just like soft boiled or knock off again. So like I want to keep up the pressure and keep this from healing up whatsoever, especially for like longer down the game too. So here I know he's not going to stay in and just try to take that focus blast while doing like 10% back. You know, Clefable is still important for him to deal with like Heatran and Gengar, so it's still a really good pivot. It can still come into Shadow Ball and Will-O-Wisp. So I have to hit these Will-O-Wisps on the switch out, which I do right here. So that's a really crucial play in preventing the Jirachi from sending off wishes as well with this taunt. And here I end up going to Heatran and rocking up on the recover. And now that Magnezone is Iron Balled and doesn't threaten to outspeed me, I can safely go to Empoleon, and especially now that Jirachi has that burn, it's not going to be able to stall out Hydros as easily. Clefable can't switch into 2 Hydros. So here Empoleon is a really good way to get the offensive momentum going. So I think we grass. Okay, he goes to Jirachi on Grass Knot, and here I go to Heatran because I feel like he's going to Wish, and this threatens to boom whatever he wants to go to, so I end up just booming the Milotic, and that's okay. Here I end up going to Metagross because it stops Clefable from healing up as well. Like Jirachi can't Wish on it, Magnezone can't do anything. Flygon's in a tricky spot, so I end up going Gengar there on the U-turn because it still kind of threatens everything here, and I'm just going to taunt this Jirachi and prevent it from passing off any more wishes and Shadow Ball it down. So he ends up hanging on there barely, which enables him to get off another good attack. So now my Gengar can't tank a U-turn or knockoff, which is kind of bad. So there he gets a critical hit, which actually is kind of scary now, because now I have to make a brazy play, like go hard imp into wing attack and try to kill this Gliscor with the Shuka, and I actually end up missing there. So this game is all of a sudden getting like really dicey, and I end up going to Azelf and to threaten boom, and I just U-turn because I really feel like he's just gonna go to Magnezone again. And here my best odds of killing this are actually Hydro Pump without having to go to Metagross, because if I go to Metagross then he's just going to go to Gliscor, and then I'm put in that spot again where I have to potentially boom on it, and I don't want to do that with Flygon because then it's just gonna outrage clean me. So I'm pretty much forced to Hydro again here, and I actually miss again, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose this game. So here, like I said, Gengar is like the best option right here because I don't want to go in that situation where Metagross has to try to boom the Gliscor. So here he's just going to U-turn. And my best play is to go to Metagross because it forces in it kind of forces in Gliscor, but here he actually makes a smart play and rocks up on my Meteor Mash here because that gets him 2 kills now. Basically, it is the potential to get him 2 kills. So here he's just going to sack the Clefable. He's not going to play around with Metagross, and so this is actually interesting. If he goes to Flygon on the sack here, then I'm in a bad spot because I'm kind of forced to go to Metagross, and then like I can't really win that way. Like, I'd have to boom with it versus the Gliscor, or get in a Zelf versus the Gliscor safely in order to boom. Like, I'd have to go to a Zelf on the EQ and hope he doesn't wing attack, predicting that. So if he goes to Flygon here on the sack, then he kinda he has the potential to get a kill, because he actually has the potential to just win, because if Flygon U-turns to Gliscor, like on the Metagross, then you know, he can whittle it down a little bit and then force it to try to boom versus Gliscor. So it's a bad spot for me, and like I said, I still need that steel resist slash tank of an EQ to boom the Flygon with it. So here though, he doesn't make the double. I end up just booming with the Zelf here, and he actually ends up psyching the Flygon, which is bad because Flygon has a better chance to kill Metagross with a crit. But I mean, that's okay. So yeah, it might not have even killed with a crit there with Gliscor, but Flygon would have had a better chance. And so we end up winning that one with the Gengar that would have died upon next switch in. So that was a good game, and it was really scary after those misses for sure. So, and here we have round 3, I think, of the Pokemon Perfect Advance Open. So I got a flip round 1. Like, I tried to schedule with Diofantine or whatever, and like neither of us really like got around to it, and the flip happened before I even knew it. So and then round 2 I played Base Wave. We had a couple good games, and then round 3 I see McMegan, and I'm like, oh shit, like, I'm just doing this tour for fun. So I mean, it's cool seeing a player like McMegan though. Like, you want to do well, obviously, even if you're just like in a tour for fun. So obviously McMegan's a really good player, so I wanted to try to do well and see what I could do. So here's game 1, and we start out with Tar versus Tar lead, and we both have the same idea to double out because we don't want to take a Brick Break or EQ or whatever. So we're just gonna scout out each other's teams and go from there. So here I end up going to Blissey because I don't want to take like some strong water attack with Milo or whatever. I mean, like, it's still chipping down the Scar more than it would the Blissey, so I'm just like, well, I guess I'll go Blissey to hopefully threaten it better, and also suss out if he has a Magnezone as well, because I don't want to get, or a Magneton as well, because I don't want to get it trapped. So he ends up having a Fortress though, which is rather annoying, because Skarmory is really crucial. Like, spikes are really crucial, and he's just going to keep like spinning with this Fortress. So plus this Milotic just walls like everything without spikes up, especially. You'll see what I mean. So here I'm thinking, well, I guess my best play is to go into Charizard and hopefully you know, hopefully Fire Blast into Milo and get a burn or something. You know, I'm not thinking like that this has the opportunity to go too well for me right now, so I end up subbing here just because I don't even know why. Like, I thought he might get aggressive and do something like that, so I thought it might give me another chance to you know, Fire Blast into that Milotic, or just kind of put some chip on it and see what happens. So that's why I do that. I thought he might want to get a 4E on whatever and get a spike up. So here I make the play to get 33 on this, and I'm like, oh, that's like nothing. So I'm just like, whatever, maybe I'll keep some chip on this before he breaks my sub. So he ends up breaking my sub there, and then I go to Metagross on the recover. So now I'm starting to think of a plan. I know he doesn't want to stay in with Milotic because I went hard to this, which means I'm like threatening a boom versus this, and he also knows Milotic has been such a pain to me so far. Like, nothing really takes care of it too well. Skarmory's getting whittled down with Surf. You know, Charizard doesn't do shit to it. So my plan here is to threaten it out, and I end up getting this hard on the switch with HP Fire, which is huge because like my game plan is to obviously get up spikes with Skarmory so that I can start shuffling around and get some chip that way, because Charizard's never gonna break, like, you know, Milotic without at least spikes up too. So I have to get these spikes up. I have to get 40 weak. And he ends up telling me later that he doesn't expect the HP Fire with a Charizard. So that was a really good play by me to get that. And I know he's not going to want to stay in and lose his Fortress for nothing, because then that means if I just boom with this, then that means I'm just getting 2 free kills like immediately back to back. So I end up actually pulling the trigger on the boom early, so that I don't give him the opportunity to go back to Fortress on the attempted boom sack. So I end up getting rid of this Moltres here, and I actually end up making another nice play here, going to Doug Trio on the double down, because a lot of advanced players will go to something weak like a Fortress on the double down so that they get some chip, and because it's already weak, it's not as important, so they can afford to be in a less favorable matchup, you know, off the bat. But at the same time, I still need this Fortress like all the way gone so that it doesn't get any latch ditch spins off on my Skarmory. So I have to immediately remove this to have the best chance, I'm thinking. So here he ends up going to Milotic, and now I'm just gonna go hard Skarmory and start getting up these spikes. He ends up trying to Toxic right away to hopefully hit the Bliss or whatever, but that ends up like putting him back just a little bit behind the Skarm. I mean, he's still chipping it pretty decently. So here we're gonna get up I Toxiced at first just to see if he's like refreshed or whatever. I figured he probably was, so, you know, especially with like Toxic himself. So here he ends up getting the refresh play on my Protect right, so a good play by him. Here I'm just going to go for another spike, and now at this point I feel like I can protect up a little more and then go to the Blissey to try to T-bolt it a little bit. So this Milotic is actually still a super pain, like, especially with Toxic. So my best play is to you know, like Calm Mind up and then hit it with a Thunderbolt. So I have to threaten it here, and I really don't think he's gonna want to stay in here and risk like maybe a full para on a +1 Thunderbolt. So I really think he's gonna switch to maybe like Tar or something. So I end up actually doubling to Doug Trio here, because I don't think he's gonna stay in at all. And I end up actually catching a Celebi, which is nice, because it could have, you know, started leech seeding on everything and just, you know, furthered the Milotic problem. So here he ends up trying to get a little greedy and trying to pursuit this so that he gets some chip on it for later, so that I can't utilize it later, and which actually hurts him because Doug Trio ends up being very key in this. So he ends up trying to protect a couple times. We end up killing the Tar off, and this 6% left on Doug is pretty big still. So here we're gonna get a Blissey, try to hit it with Thunderbolt a little bit, just try to get in Skarm, protect up a little bit. We're just gonna keep trying to wear down these Toxics and stuff. But at the same time, everything I switch into like does not take Surf well at all. So like this is still like a huge threat. So I end up thunderbolting into Steelix there, which is bad. I do get up that third layer of spikes though, which is nice. I go to Tar here so that I can keep chip on this. I need to keep chip on this for Dugtrio so that now I can start doing 50% with EQ and putting it into Charizard range. I mean, he could keep recovering and potentially win that way, but at the same time, you know, like, I'm probably going to crit, so like, it wouldn't have really done anything for him. So yeah, I'm gonna end up actually hitting the Fire Blast here, luckily, because if I don't, then he just wins. So it was actually a pretty close game. It was a good game, and well played by him. You know, just keeping that Milotic around and making it a problem for sure. So that was a fun one. That was a really good game, and I felt like I made some ballsy plays that really paid off. So, and here we have game 2. So we both end up having Mence lead, and I'm gonna go to Metagross as he goes to his Snorlax. So I'm guessing he's trying to take the D-Claw or whatever. I'm trying to take D-Claw or you know, Rock Slide. So I just Meteor Mash here. I'm not really sure what to expect right now, but this is like a mixed offense. So I definitely need some more information revealed before I can like start making some aggressive plays to gain advantage. And I'm just gonna Body Slam versus the Starmie. Like versus C, I feel like I like Shadow Balled and stuff a couple times versus Starmie when I should have just Body Slammed to hopefully paralyze like Mence or Meta. So I have to either Body Slam or Focus Punch this to get any sort of advantage on it. So here I'm going to go to Metagross on the Meteor Mash. I don't want to take it with Zapdos or whatever. I end up being faster with the leftovers revealed, and so I'm thinking Zapdos is going to put on a lot of pressure here, but now he has Blissey, which is really annoying, because like at least Zapdos could like T-Wave Snorlax and like T-Bolt it a little bit, but Blissey is going to throw off everything, no problem. It's just going to shrug off everything, anything special. So here I go to Metagross again, just to scare out this Blissey. I end up Meteor Mashing, which misses. And then HP Firing, and I'm not sure if he expected the Zapdos there again or what, but I really didn't want him to, like, that Metagross was a big pain versus my Snorlax, so I thought chipping it would be huge late game. Okay, so I end up sending out Lax versus the Mence, and I don't really think that's a great situation for me, so I get a Mence on like the I don't even know, maybe Brick Break or whatever. Here I almost thought he would double. I really thought he might double, but I didn't attack into it. I should have just like declawed or something. That would have been brazy. But here he makes a really nice play. HP Flying straight up with CB Mence into my Swampert. So that was a pretty good play. I guess he thought I might go to Mence on Brick Break or something. So HP Flying, you know, pretty good overall play to hit whatever. But that actually enables me to go back to Tar, and now I can start to oh well, I know his best answer to Tyranitar is Metagross. Like, Heracross doesn't want to take like Fire Blast. Starmie is obviously bad versus Crunch. Blissey is not going to take like Rock Slide or whatever well. So I'm thinking his best initial pivot is Metagross. So we finally get some chip on this after connecting with the EQ, and then I really feel like he's going to start pivoting to that Mence for Intimidate and stuff, and to threaten with Earthquake, etc. And we do get a couple nice plays here, but then I just start playing a little too safe, partly because I feel like I still can at this point, but also because I'm just afraid that he's going to call one of my my predictions. So I feel like getting sand chip on this and chipping the Metagross like with Rock Slide is still okay. Like I'm still chipping whatever. And then I end up getting a hit off on Heracross too, so you know, it's okay. It's not the worst. It wasn't the worst trade-off. And here we go to Zapdos. I think I end up going to Snorlax, yeah, because that was a good play by him, because obviously I don't want to attack straight into the Blissey for nothing. And I'm probably just going to try to go back to, you know, whatever. So Rock Sliding, those interesting because, you know, if I Thunderbolt, I mean, what is he hitting with Rock Slide? You know, Zapdos or Mence. So why would I switch out of Zapdos and go Mence, which is not going to hit the Blissey that hard with as a mixed attacker, you know what I mean? So I feel like maybe Brick Breaking or even Mega Horning there is a better play if you're expecting that double to one of my physical attackers versus that Blissey. But you know, that's fine. He still got that right, and that forces me to go back out to one of my flyers. So, and I'm ending up still taking some more chip. He ends up Mega Horning there. I Brick Break because I really don't want to let in this Blissey. Like, I still have good switch-ins to the me in Snorlax, but I don't have as good of switch-ins to the Blissey. So I'm fine with that. And he makes some nice pivots though, getting in that Blissey safely, and then he Ice Beams here. And I should have pulled the trigger on Focus Punch here, but I ended up just Earthquaking for you know, some chip. But I end up Focus Punching here. Yeah, not a great play because he just goes to Starmie. Good play by him. I don't know if he predicted a non-EQ or if he just thought that this would be a better option. Here I end up getting the Focus Punch on this, and I'm thinking he's probably gonna boom here. Like well, my timer's like so low through all this because like these are such tough turns. Like both of us have stuff that can threaten the other person pretty well, but it's like it's tough. It's tough right now to get them in safely and get the right reads. So we both end up going Mence on the double down, and you know, that's a good play because his Mence would fuck up everything else, so I have pretty much forced to go to Mence on that double down. And he makes a nice play though, going to the Blissey there. So I end up Dragon Dancing up. He actually makes a nice play going to Starmie because Surf or whatever is probably going to kill. But I feel like I just kind of have to go for a Rock Slide flinch at this point, and I end up getting it, thankfully. So we end up killing his Mence there, and now he's going to go to Heracross now that he's gotten that Intimidate off and can take one. So he ends up dropping the Tar, and now it's a series of him needing the Heracross for my lax, but also not being able to go like hard Blissey on a Brick Break. So he makes some nice pivots here, and then he makes a nice double back into Heracross and actually gets this Rock Slide play right. So it's getting pretty close here. I Brick Break again. You know, I still can't let in that Blissey for free, and I'm still faster than the Starmie and threatening it with HP Grass. So, and I still feel like I threaten whatever with Lax, like versus that Blissey. So I'm not like too pressed to make the prediction again. So he ends up getting the double right, but then he doesn't get the Rock Slide play right, unfortunately there. So I think Mence is going to end up just Brick Breaking to keep chip on that, and then I think I just HP grass or whatever, and it's a wrap. So, or I Dragon Claw actually, so I get a little more damage. So Brick Break's gonna end up killing that, and you know, obviously Starmie's dead. So those were some pretty good games. He played this one really well, and the other one was he played really well too. This one I had to get lucky, you know, with that rock slide flinch. So I can't feel 100% about it, but I felt like game one I'm really proud of though. Game one I'm proud of. This one I feel like I kind of had to get a little lucky. So, but overall, some good games, and you know, going undefeated on the week for tours is always a good feeling. So, just thought I'd go over my thought process for some good games. Alright, take it easy.